Morning to everyone. Exercise 8.1. We have done first 5 questions. We were discussing sixth question. You are given a parallelogram ABCD in which the diagonal is bisecting one of the angles. And you have to prove that the diagonals bisect the angle at the other end point as well. So diagonal AC bisects angle A. You have to prove it bisects angle C. Question could be modified. They could ask you to prove that the diagonal bisects the diagonal BD bisects angle B, and then prove that the angle at the other end is also bisected. This can be done using congruence, but right now I'm going to just use the property of this quadrilateral being a parallelogram. So I had written this that the parts of angle A, if I have written them as angle 1 and angle 2, since they are equal, it's given to me that angle A is bisected. So the two parts of angle A are equal to each other. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2. I could just assign them a value x. So angle 1 and angle 2 each, let us say, is equal to x. And then since this is a parallelogram, opposite sides will be parallel and the diagonal acts as a transversal. So when the diagonal acts as a transversal, the alternate interior angles will be equal. Alternate interior angles will be equal. So angle 3 will be equal to angle 2. It will have the value x, and angle 4 will be equal to angle 1. Its value will also be equal to x. And hence you can conclude that angle 3 is equal to angle 4. They are having the same value. So angle C is also bisected as its parts.
What is the question number?
Question 6th, beta. We are doing question number 6th. Let's write down and then we will go over the answer again. So you've been only given that this is a parallelogram along with diagonal AC bisecting angle A. So I'm concluding from here by writing down the parts of angle A as angle 1 and angle 2. This is what it means. And later I'm going to give them the same value. You could do that with you could do this without giving them the same value though. You can do the question directly. To prove there are two parts. First of all, AC bisects angle C. This is what I was discussing. I'm going to mark the parts of angle C as 3 and 4. So to prove first part, I will have to prove angle 3 equals to angle 4. And then eventually I have to prove that ABCD is a rhombus. That means all four sides are equal to each other. So let angle 1 equal to angle 2, which are equal. This is given to me. Let's assign them a same value. So opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel. Now this is something you don't have to write down. You could simply write down that ABCD is a parallelogram. Therefore, angle 3 will be equal to angle 2 and angle 4 will be equal to angle 1. These are forming pairs of alternate interior angles.
Can you explain proof?
Of course, you have been given that there is a parallelogram ABCD. Its diagonal is bisecting angle A. So angle 1 and angle 2 are equal to each other. You have to prove that angle 3 is equal to angle 4. So I could have done this with congruence also, but that would be just extra. Eventually, I would be using the fact that 1 and 2 are equal. That's why 3 and 4 are equal, because angle 3 is equal to angle 2. Let me know just this part. Do you understand this, that angle 3 will be equal to angle 2 and angle 4 will be equal to angle 1. Because the opposite sides of a parallelogram are parallel to each other, you will have pairs of alternate interior angles. So angle 3 will be equal to angle 2 and angle 1 will be equal to angle 4. These are pairs of alternate interior angles. Since angle 1 and angle 2 are equal to each other, angle 1 और angle 2 equal हैं, what I did, मैंने उन दोनों को same value assign की थी. एंगल 1 को भी मैंने x से रिप्रेजेंट कर दिया, एंगल 2 को भी मैंने x से रिप्रेजेंट कर दिया. व्हेन आई रिलेट दीज टू एंगल्स, एंगल 3 की वैल्यू एंगल 2 के इक्वल है, तो एंगल 3 की वैल्यू भी क्या हो जाएगी, x हो जाएगी. सिमिलरली राइटिंग डाउन एंगल 4 इक्वल्स टू एंगल 1, ऑल्टरनेट इंटीरियर एंगल्स, एंगल 1 की वैल्यू x है, तो एंगल 4 की वैल्यू भी क्या हो गई, x हो गई. एंगल 3 की वैल्यू भी x मिल गई आपको, एंगल 4 की वैल्यू भी x मिल गई. दैट्स व्हाई द टू एंगल्स आर इक्वल. यू कुड हैव सिंपली रिटन दैट एंगल 3 इज इक्वल टू एंगल 2 which is equal to angle 1 and angle 1 is equal to angle 4. एंगल 3 और एंगल 2 इक्वल हैं, ये हैं ऑल्टरनेट इंटीरियर एंगल्स, लेकिन एंगल 2 एंगल 1 के इक्वल है, ये आपको गिवन है. फर्दर एंगल 1 becomes equal to एंगल 4, अगेन इट्स अ पेयर ऑफ ऑल्टरनेट इंटीरियर एंगल्स. So, इस तरह से रिलेट कर रहे हैं. तो जो फर्स्ट एंगल था वो लास्ट वाले के भी इक्वल होगा. ऑल ऑफ दीज 4 एंगल्स आर इक्वल. I think it was Ashpreet who was asking. Ashpreet, is it clear, बच्चे?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. After this, you have to prove that this is a rhombus. Since it's a parallelogram, the opposite sides are already equal. We already have AB equals to CD and BC equals to AD. This we already have. We want to prove adjacent sides equal. Once the adjacent sides are equal in a parallelogram, it will become a rhombus. So in order to prove adjacent sides equal, I'm going to use the property that in a triangle, if two angles are of the same measure, then the sides opposite to them are also equal. अगर आपके पास कोई triangle है, ये triangles में आपने किया था, if you remember isosceles triangle की property थी. Isosceles triangle में अगर दो sides equal होती हैं and we can prove that the angles opposite to them are equal. अगर किसी triangle में दो angles equal, out of the 3 angles in a triangle, 2 are equal to each other, then the sides opposite to those angles will be equal to each other. So you could simply take this triangle ADC. You have angle 1 marked here, angle 3 marked here. In triangle ADC, angle 1 is equal to angle 3. We just proved above, angle 1 का measure x है, angle 3 का measure भी x है. So each of these is equal to x. What can you say about the opposite sides?
They will also be equal.
Opposite sides will be equal. That means AD will be equal to CD. And now you can just compare this result, combine this result rather with this result. Combine this result that you just concluded from this triangle and combine to this one where we have written that opposite sides are equal. AB is equal to CD, CD is equal to AD, AD is equal to BC. We have proved that this side from the first pair is equal to this side in the second pair. So all 4 sides will be equal. If you want, you can write down that it is a parallelogram in which all 4 sides are equal. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
If anyone's writing down, should I wait?
Ma'am, wait.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Taranpreet.
Ma'am, that day I asked you that if diagonal bisects a quadrilateral into two congruent triangles, whether that quadrilateral will be a
It
parallelogram. Can you please tell?
yeah, it completely skipped my mind. Could you just leave me a message? I will get back to it. We were busy with the result entry. We are compiling the result for your classes. So I could not get to that. Just leave me a message so that it doesn't skip my mind.
Okay, ma'am. I'm done.
Compare this question with question number 7th. The statement changes a little, and you can use this result afterwards in your questions if you want. That in case of a parallelogram, I'm talking about 6th question right here. In a parallelogram, if the diagonal bisects angle at one of its endpoints, पैरेललोग्राम की कोई डायगोनल है AC या BD, उनमें से आप कोई एक डायगोनल अगर आपको बताया हुआ है कि वो एंड पॉइंट पे अपने एंगल को बाइसेक्ट कर रही है, one of the angles, there are two endpoints, so if it bisects angle at one of its endpoints, it will also bisect the angle at the other end. So अगर हम डायगोनल AC की बात करें, यहाँ पे हमें दिया था कि A पे एंगल बाइसेक्ट हो रहा है, and we proved that the angle at C is also bisected. And when this happens, the parallelogram becomes a rhombus. Now see how the question changes. ABCD is a rhombus. It's actually the converse for this. Show that diagonal AC bisects angle A as well as angle C, and BD bisects angle B as well as angle D. We will be only proving one part of this question, and then you can write down similarly for the second part, for BD bisecting angle B and angle D. And 8th question is actually deleted, but I would like to go over the result with you. 6th question and 8th question look quite similar. In 8th question, they have specified that the parallelogram is a rectangle. Now, if in a rectangle, the diagonal bisects angle A and C, the angles at its endpoints, then the rectangle will be a square. And then other diagonal bisects angle B as well as angle D. So this is a little modified question combined by, formed by combining 6th and 7th question. So 6th and 7th की modification है 8th question. If you want, you could try this on your own. Let's do 7th part. So just keep in mind the proof that we've already done for 6th question. This can be done exactly like that. Since ABCD is a rhombus, it means we have a parallelogram and all 4 sides are equal. You can always use these properties while writing down the proof if they help you. What do you think? To prove angle 1 equal to angle 2 and angle 3 equal to angle 4, we will actually be proving all of them are equal to each other, just like we did in the previous part. Since it's a rhombus, all sides are equal. I'm going to pick one triangle. I'm going to pick one triangle, triangle ADC. Let us pick triangle ADC. In this triangle, AD is equal to CD because all four sides of a rhombus are equal. And then eventually I will have the same property which I used in triangles. If two sides are equal, the angles opposite to them will be equal. So we have angle 1 marked here, angle 3 marked here. Since in this triangle ADC, AD is equal to CD, these are sides of rhombus, so they will be equal. It implies angle 1 equals to angle 3. Angles opposite to equal sides of a triangle are equal. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's
Yes,
keep
ma'am.
this as one result that we have obtained. The second thing I'm going to use is that the quadrilateral given to me is a parallelogram. So concluding from there, ABCD is a parallelogram. I have written angle 3 equal to angle 1 already, concluding that angle 3 will be equal to angle 2. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
These are alternate interior angles, so they will be equal. You could also write down for the other pair. The other pair of alternate interior angles that you can see here are angle 1 equals to angle 4. These are the pairs of alternate interior angles, both these pairs. Now combine result number 1 with these two results. Angle 1 is equal to angle 4, but angle 1 was equal to angle 3, and angle 4 is now equal to angle 2. Does that make sense? We have three relations. Angle 1 equals to angle 3. This was result number 1. And then since alternate interior angles are equal, so we have these two results. So if we combine these, angle 1 is equal to angle 4 and angle 3 is equal to angle 2. So I'm going to just write next to each other. Angle 1 4 के equal था, मैंने उसके साथ वो लिख दिया. Angle 3 is equal to angle 2 if I write that way. So what do you obtain from here? All four angles are equal. From here, can you conclude angle 1 is equal to angle 2 and angle 3 is equal to angle 4? Separately, you could write down or you could just conclude from here. सारी एंगल्स आपस में इक्वल हो गए. आपको तो सिर्फ इतना प्रूव करना था 1 और 2 इक्वल है सेपरेटली, 3 और 4 इक्वल है सेपरेटली. You only have to prove this, but what we have done here is we have proved that all four paths here, for angle A, the two paths are equal, and angle C, the two paths are equal. Anyone with questions?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, it is not important to draw the diagonal BD.
You could show that separately here afterwards, but it's not necessary. Even if you do it without drawing, that will be completely fine. You can just do it over here at the end if you want. Separately, you can draw the diagonal, and then you can write down that diagonal BD bisects angle B and D. Because I did not want to, figure gets complicated when you draw too many things. I only wanted to see these two triangles so that I could conclude what I want to prove. आप draw करके भी कर सकते हो, completely fine.
Ma'am, I had put a question in the group regarding this assignment
Yes.
of chapter 2.
Okay, I'll just remind me in the last 2-3 minutes, I'll get back to that. Although I will be having the doubt session today, I think. If you want to join, you can join. Just remind me in the last 2-3 minutes, okay? Question number 8 is deleted. Question number 9th. In parallelogram ABCD, there are 2 points P and Q on diagonal BD such that DP equals to BQ. And then you have to prove all these results. Generally, whenever you have question like this, where you have multiple parts, one part helps in the proof for the next one. So in case you have recalled what you did in triangles, you can figure out that if you prove a congruence, you can conclude the results further given in the question. So similar things will be happening, but do keep in mind the properties of the parallelograms that you have, because right now we will not be proving those properties. We will be using them as such. Whatever we have done till now, like the first page of the exercise and all the properties that you have for parallelogram. What happens when a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, and what do we need to do to prove a quadrilateral a parallelogram? So all of those properties should be on your fingertips now. I will go over the figure again here. So you have been given that there is a parallelogram A, B, C, D. Then they have given 2 points on diagonal BD. Let's draw the diagonal BD. On this diagonal, there are 2 points P and Q in such a way that DP equals to PQ. So DP, P point will be marked near D, this distance. The segment DP is equal to the segment BQ. The length of DP and BQ is same. Further, these points have been joined to the remaining 2 vertices, and you obtain the figure given to you in the question. Kindly draw the diagram. The first part of your question is to prove triangle APD congruent to triangle CQB. This triangle is to be proved congruent to this one. So you already can see there is one pair of sides which is equal. I'll just draw the triangles here. APD and CQB. Out of the 2 triangles, DP and BQ are given equal. Can you identify 2 more pairs of equal paths so that we can prove the congruence?
PP equal to DQ.
AP equals to QC.
Angle ADP equals to QBC.
That's right. We have a parallelogram So with the help of parallelogram, what can you conclude? You can conclude that the opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are parallel. So if the opposite sides are parallel, the angle formed at point D and B will be equal. I'll just mark in the figure if I can, if you can see here. So this angle over here, let's mark this as 1. So this angle is angle number 1. And this angle will be equal to angle over here. The reason being the opposite sides of a parallelogram, they are parallel. Angle 1 and angle 2 are pair of alternate interior angles. What else can you conclude from this quadrilateral being a parallelogram?
AD equals to BC.
AD
The
equals to BC.
opposite sides of a parallelogram will be equal. You have two triangles with 3 parts equal to each other, which forms the property SAS. So the two triangles will be congruent by SAS rule. Let me know if this is clear, then we'll write down.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there are 5 parts for this. You can just write down all of those. And then I'm going to start with the proof. For the first part, we have taken triangles APD and triangle CQB. I'm going to write down the parts which are equal. So from APD, I have AD equal to CB. These are opposite sides of parallelogram. Then angle 1 equals to angle 2. These form pair of alternate interior angles. And then finally, I have DP equals to QB. This is given. Once you have proved the congruence, the next part is AP equals to CQ. After proving the congruence of these two triangles, triangle APD is congruent to triangle CQB, can you conclude the second part just by writing down CPCT? Since triangle APD and CQB are congruent, their corresponding parts will be equal. We already have written that the two pairs of sides are equal. We have used that to prove the congruence. APD and CQB. We used AD equals to BC, and then we used BQ equals to DP. The third pair of corresponding sides was AP and CQ. Since we have proved the two triangles congruent, the remaining pair of sides will also be equal. The syllabus for PA2 will be shared soon. We all were actually waiting for instructions. Once we get those instructions, we will forward the syllabus to you. I will let you know once. I think I had already sent a message. Manroop has already asked me. I will try to share the syllabus today. Most probably it will be the chapters that you've done recently, like the previous chapters. Maybe 2 or 3 chapters. I will let you know. Third part, you have to prove the congruence of triangles AQB and CPD. Now, these are the triangles on the opposite sides. Let's mark in the figure here. So these two triangles. This will also be done exactly like the congruence in first part. If you are to prove the congruence of these two triangles. This is triangle AQB and you have triangle CPD. Just like the proof for first part, you will be proving the congruence for these two. We have BQ equals to DP given to us. BQ is given equal to DP. Along with that, we can use that the pair of opposite sides of the parallelogram are equal. And finally, we can use that the pair of alternate interior angles are equal. When you identify the pair of alternate interior angles, be a little careful. AB is parallel to CD. The transversal will be diagonal BD. So the pair of alternate interior angles formed is this one and this one. So I'm right now numbering these as 3 and 4. So angle 3 will be equal to angle 4. Again, pair of alternate interior angles, and hence your triangles will be congruent. I would like you to write down the proof for this. We will continue tomorrow. I would like to discuss the question that Manya was asking. Manya, I think it was about a polynomial given to you, and then you have to write down what will be the remainder when you put the value of, when you divide that polynomial.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have the question, could you just let me know? Px is divided by, is it b minus ax? I think it's b minus ax. Since this is your divisor, normally आपको जो dividend होता है उसके लिए पूरा आगे expression दिया होता है. You are given the polynomial which is being divided and you are given the divisor. Right now सिर्फ नाम दिया है आपको dividend का. Dividend का name दिया है आपको, dividend पूरा नहीं दिया आपको, polynomial नहीं दिया हुआ, सिर्फ name दिया है. Whereas a divisor is given to you. The method that we use to find out the remainder, we will just use that. Divisor will be taken equal to 0. From there you find out x. So x comes out to be b over a, and then this value is put in the polynomial. So once you put this value in the polynomial, you will have p of x is replaced by, as you can see, x is replaced by the value of x you obtained by taking divisor equal to 0. सिर्फ इतना सा लिखना है आपको. अगर आपके पास ये पॉलिनोमियल होता, हम उधर भी सब्स्टिट्यूट करते राइट हैंड साइड पे. हमारे पास एक्सप्रेशन नहीं है, सिर्फ नेम है, तो हम नेम में ही रिप्लेस कर देंगे.
Okay, ma'am.